Yamunatira vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya O Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So today we're reading from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 5, text number 13. Yeah. So we're going to do just one more short invocation prayers. And before I begin speaking as well, I'd also like to seek the blessings of everyone assembled here and also to those who may be listening online. Om Jnana Tirmayandasya Gananjana Salakaya Chakchurun Militanyena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitanyena Bhutaye Swayam Rupa Kadadmayam Dadati Sva Padantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunath Tam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadavatam Savadhutam Prijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bando Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sutadevi Pranamami Hari Pre Vancha Kalpa Trubhescha Kripa Sindhu Bevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So we're reading from chapter 5, text number 13. So we're going to start with the Sanskrit translation, or the Sanskrit and then the translation in purport. Sarva karmani manasa sanyasyaste sukham vasi navadvare pure dehi neva kurvam nakarayan. Sarva karmani manasa sanyasyaste sukham vasi navadvare pure dehi Nava kurvam nakarayan. Sarva karmani manasa sanyasyaste sukham vasi Nava dware pure dehi Neva kurva nakarayan. And if anyone would like to try the recitation, please feel free if you'd like to. Yes, yeah. Sarva karmani manasa sanyasyaste sukham vasi navadvare pure dehi neva kurvana karayan. Okay, so yes. Sarva karmani manasa sanyasyaste sukham vasi navadvare pure dehi neva kurvana karayan. Okay, thank you. So we'll continue on to the translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. When the embodied living being controls his nature and mentality, renounces all actions, he resides happily in the city of 9 gates, the material body, neither working nor causing work to be done. So, translation one more time. When the embodied living being controls his nature and mentality, renounces all actions, he resides happily in the city of 9 gates, the material body, neither working nor causing work to be done. And purport. The embodied soul lives in the city of 9 gates. The activities of the body, or the figurative city of body, are conducted automatically by its particular modes of nature. The soul, although subjecting himself to the conditions of the body, can be beyond those conditions if he so desires. Owing only to forgetfulness of his superior nature, he identifies with the material body and therefore suffers. By Krishna consciousness, he can revive his real position and thus come out of his embodiment. Therefore, when one takes to Krishna consciousness, one at once becomes completely aloof from bodily activities. In such a controlled life, in which his deliberations are changed, he lives happily within the city of 9 gates. The 9 gates are mentioned as follows. Nava dware pure dehi hamso lelalyate bahi vasi sarvasya lokasya stavarasya charasya cha. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is living within the body of a living entity, is the controller of all living entities all over the universe. The body consists of 9 gates, 2 eyes, 2 nostrils, 2 ears, 1 mouth, the anus, and the genitals. The living entity, in his conditioned stage, identifies himself with the body, but when he identifies himself with the Lord within himself, he becomes just as free as the Lord, even while in the body. The Setsvatara Upanishad 3.18. Therefore, a Krishna conscious person is free from both the outer and inner activities of the material body. So we have the question. So to really understand what it's saying here and what Srila Prabhupada is saying in the purport. So the first thing which we really need to understand is that we're not this body, that we're actually the spirit soul. So it mentions in the last quotation there from the Svatsvartara Upanishad, it mentions that one can become just as free as the Lord within, but it makes a distinction about the soul, that the Lord is within, but we're not that Lord within. So that's something which is very important to actually understand, that the Lord is within our heart as the Paramatma. So it's stated in the Bhagavad Gita, 11DEC2023 Arjuna Tishtati, that resides in the heart. So this is the Lord that resides in the heart as the super soul. And it's mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita also that this super soul, the Lord in the heart, that he's the sanctioner and the permitter. So it's the Lord who is he's the overseer of the living entities. And the soul is actually it's very tightly bonded with matter. The soul is, in its original condition, is completely free and aloof, but that the consciousness of the soul has become entangled with matter. So this is described, that we've become entangled with matter from time immemorial. So we can't really trace out how far back in history, but we do know that there is the transmigration of the soul. So dehinos min yata dehe, that yovnam kovaram jara, that basically the soul travels from body to body, and it's mentioned that there's 8,400,000 species of life. So this is a very, very long transmigration, even to get to a human form of life. So it's actually a very rare opportunity. And in terms of this material world, we can try and actually understand what this material world is. So it's said in the Bhagavad Gita, apariyam itasvanyam prakritim vidime param jiva bhutam mahabaho yedam daryate jagat, that besides this inferior energy of mine, which consists of the material modes of the external energy, which is the material world, there is a superior energy of mine which comprises of the living entities who are exploiting the resources of this material world. So this is the living entities, that we're actually above matter. We have an eternal relationship with the Lord, and we're similar in quality with the Lord. We're of the same quality with the Lord, but we're not of the same quality. So there's a qualitative difference. One analogy which I find useful as well, is that even within that quality there's differentiation, like like gold. There's different 24 karat gold and so on. So it said that the individual living entity, they maintain 78% of the original qualities of the Lord, and of the total qualities. So the living entity has all these qualities, but we're not quite on the same level of the Lord. And as I mentioned earlier, that the Lord is the overseer and the permitter. So the Lord has that quantitative. Basically, another analogy is given that we're like drops in the ocean, that you can be a drop of water, but you can't say you're the ocean. But this is just an analogy. It's not that we become the ocean or become the Lord. And it's important then to understand actually what this material body really is. If we know we're not this body, that we're the soul. So the soul is spirit, it's Sat Chit Anand, it's eternal, joyful and blissful. But the body and the whole material nature, it's all, the body is comprised of the material energy. So that's mentioned also in the Bhagavad Gita. Yantya Rodani Mayaya, that in terms of the super soul is within the body, and is situated in the body, which is like a machine made of the material energy. So this whole material world is described as the Lord's external energy, and the Lord has the three primary energies, which consist of his internal energy, his marginal energy, and his external energy. So his internal energy is his spiritual energy, which is what comprises the whole material manifestation, the whole material world. And his marginal energy is what actually is the living entities. So us living entities, we're called marginal. So it's basically, the analogy is given as like on a bank, on a sandbank between the water and the shore, that basically we have the ability to fall down and to go in different directions. So we're fallible, but the Lord is infallible. So that's the difference. And then this whole material energy, it's made up out of gross and subtle matter. So there's the gross material elements, which are earth, water, air, fire. And then there's the subtle elements, which are false ego, intelligence, and the mind. So we're made of both of those. And this is what the body is comprised of. So from the gross elements, different sensory perceptions appear. For example, from ether comes sound, and likewise this is what initially allows the body to hear, and so on. And the element of fire creates the ability to see things, and so on like that. And then also the example of the earth as well, is which from the aroma arises. So this is actually the different elements in which comprises the material world and the body, actually gives rise to the sense perception. And then it's through this sense perception in which we actually become more and more entangled and enamored by the material energy. So the material energy, it originally actually comes from Durga, who is expansion of Parvati. So this is Durga is a very dear associate of the Supreme Lord, and Lord Shiva's wife as well. And so for that sake, she's more actually has more power than us individual living entities. So therefore, we don't really stand a chance against the material energy. It's too strong for us. And for that reason, we become more and more entangled. So it's said that us living entities were exploiting the resources of this material world. So that basically means that we're trying to enjoy material life in the material world separately from Krishna. So what this really means is that we have a selfish desire, and we want to actually, just be happy, and we have this illusion that we'll find happiness in the material world, but and we may even think we feel like happiness in the material world, but the happiness of this material world is actually an illusion. So the only happiness in this material world is actually in our mind. It's not real happiness, and it's actually a further cause of bondage and ultimately displeasure or suffering. So it's very simple that in terms of the 9 gates of the body, these have to be purified, and the senses. So it said, Sarvapadi vinirmuktam yenama, Sarvapadi vinirmuktam tatparatvena nirmalam rishikesha rishikena sevanam bhaktar uchite. So basically, how we purify our senses is that we engage them in devotional service. And so this is a very simple solution. Shri Shri Radha Gokulananda ki, Shri Shri Sitaram Laxman Hanuman ki, Shri Shri Gauranitai ki. Okay. So by actually engaging our senses in devotional service, this is how we will gradually become purified. So it's said that when we engage in devotional service, there's 2 side effects. So one is that we become free from all material designations. So we become situated in the concept that we're actually a spirit soul, and we don't belong to anything material. And then naturally our senses become purified. And this is the process of devotional service. So to actually go through the process of devotional service and to reach that purification, it doesn't just happen instantly. So it's a gradual process, and it requires endeavor, surrender, and the nature of this material world is that it's going to test us. That's the nature of the external energy. The external energy, its job is to actually to test us and to try and test our resolve as well, and it will also get us to really make that decision, if we really want Krishna or if we want to actually just stay here. So it's actually it's a big trial, but it's also said that this material energy of mine is very hard to overcome, Krishna says, but those who have surrendered unto me can easily cross beyond it. So the material energy, it is very difficult to overcome, but it's actually described as like an ocean, the ocean of material existence. And when we have to try and cross this ocean, but when we take to the process of devotional service, the ocean will shrink, and basically it will be no more than the size of water which is contained within the hoofprint of a calf, is what's described in the Shastra. So it becomes very, very easy by the mercy of Krishna. So that's something which is very important. We can only actually achieve success in devotional life by the mercy of others and the blessings of others. So it's by the blessings of other devotees, the spiritual master, and so on. So we need actually all the blessings we can get to give us that spiritual strength. But there's also, of course, other things which are very, very much important in terms of material existence. Something I was trying to understand more recently is about the influence of Kali. So this is the age of Kali Yuga, and Kali is the personality who resides in this age. So Kali is described as sin personified, and the personality of Kali, you may know, just to give an example of what type of a personality Kali is, if you know from the Mahabharata, Duryodhan. So Duryodhan was the son of Dhritarashtra. So he is actually Kali who was incarnated in that role. And so Duryodhan, from his very birth, you could hear the sound of donkeys, screaming or crying and so on. So it was very inauspicious. And Dhritarashtra was asked to, or advised that he should immediately just actually, because Kali this personality was so inauspicious, and he said that this personality will be the ruination of your kingdom. So they advised him, all his advisors said, you should immediately kill this baby because it's for the good. It's said that you can, there's some, I don't have the exact quote, but it's basically saying you can sacrifice someone for the sake of a family, a family for the sake of a city and things like this. So for something which is for the greater good. But it was this principle that to actually sacrifice Duryodhan for the greater good of the kingdom and to save the whole dynasty was what was required. But his father, Dhritarashtra, he was not inclined to go through with that, so it didn't happen actually. But in terms of Kali, there's a story that basically Kali, Parikshit Maharaj, the son of Yudhishthira, was king at the time. So this was after what's known as the Battle of Kurukshetra, where the Bhagavad Gita was spoken. And so sometime after this, King Parikshit had become the king, and he decided to try and subdue the other kings and people who held sovereignty of different parts of the world. And so he went on his victory conquest, and he had a horse, a banner of a lion, and so on. And on that endeavor, he happened to meet a cow, and a bull and a cow. So the bull had only 3 legs. The bull had 3 legs missing, only 1 leg left. and the cow was in dismay and was crying and very unhappy. So this bull was Dharma personified, and the cow was, Mother Earth in that sense. So, or Bhakti Devi. So and basically, Parikshit, he saw that there was this personality in the garb of a king, and this personality was actually, he could tell, was what's called a Sudra, someone who was of a laborer class. So he shouldn't have been as a king, and basically he wanted to find out first. So he asked about, how did this happen? He asked Dharma, the bull, and basically Dharma, he didn't want to, he was very philosophical. He knew all the different, he was Dharma personified, so he knew, right from wrong and so on. And basically he said that, who is responsible for this? So he went through a very introspective mood, and he said, actually, there's so many different causes. First of all, it's myself, for what I have done wrong. It's my karma, and ultimately the Lord, He's the one who sanctions everything, and basically he concluded that this personality, Kali, though he was the direct perpetrator, basically there's so many other factors involved. But Parikshit, he really appreciated the reflections of Dharma, and he then, he decided that he has to come to a conclusion that it was still Kali who was responsible, and he got his sword to kill Kali. And at that moment, Kali took shelter of Parikshit. And so then, due to that, Kali was then, he had taken shelter of Parikshit, so he was under the care of Parikshit. And Parikshit said, okay, he's wondering where should he go? And so he said, okay, so you can go to 4 different places. So these are 4 different places of illicit activity, such as meat eating, intoxication, illicit sex, and gambling. So, and then Kali says, okay, but I still have nowhere to go because your kingdom is so perfect. Where can I go still? And then he said, okay, you can also go to where gold is hoarded. And so basically, the personality of Kali is in these different places. But it's important to understand that these are sinful activities already. Like, there's already laws that exist for sin. So what actually is Kali's role? What happens, in terms of these activities? How do we understand Kali's influence? So something that's important to understand is that, so Kali is, he's the presence of darkness in this age, and basically Kali has this sway of darkness. So in these different places, Kali, he can have the power to sway people and to influence people to become more sinful. And so this is why this is the age of Kali Yuga. So the whole material world now is under the influence of Kali. And Srila Prabhupada, that's why he prescribed to purify ourselves, that we have to take shelter of the process of Krishna consciousness. So the Yuga Dharma for this age, the very easy way of purification is by the chanting of the Lord's names. And then also what Sri Prabhupada calls sometimes the 4 principles of freedom, or the 4 principles of religion, are directly involved with these 4 places. So when we practice the path of Krishna consciousness, we abstain from meat eating, illicit sex, intoxication and gambling. And this is what keeps us aloof from Kali and the influence of the age of Kali. So, and also there's different things which are very favorable to devotional service. One of the most important is devotee association. It's said that you can know someone by their company. So basically, our company has a very strong influence on us as well. And as we can see, like if you see a couple after many years, they become just like each other a lot of the time, and like mannerisms and so on. And it's basically, Sri Prabhupada said, I know this saying that it said that if you walk with kings, you'll become like kings. And Sri Prabhupada said, if you want to become a good drinker, you should associate with drunkards. So these are just examples about association. It has a very strong influence on us. And also, there's different different processes that we have to engage in to be free from sin. So another such example is the honoring of prasadam, because we have to survive, we have to eat, but the eating process naturally involves killing, and basically Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, he mentions that which we can actually offer to him. So these are eatables, such as a vegetarian diet, milk and so on, milk products. And so we're not just vegetarian for the sake of vegetarianism, but we're Krishnatarian. It's just that which we can actually offer to Krishna. And so it's mentioned, Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita that that which we eat without actually offering to him is verily, verily sin. So if we eat things without offering to Krishna first, we accumulate that karma and sin from things which are actually, because the nature of this material world is that one form of life is food for another, and that's the nature of this material world. So naturally, sin is involved. But also a vegetarian diet is the most compassionate diet as well, in terms of animals are a lot more developed than plants and so on, and literally fruits just actually fall from the tree and so on. So it's actually the most, even the 4 different principles, meat eating is directly related to mercy, so it's about being compassionate. So these are different aspects of the process. So maybe if you'd like to, we can all repeat together. And the main Yuga Dharma of this age is that we chant the Lord's names. So if you like, we'll all chant together the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So I'd like to ask if there's any questions before we... yes, Boo. Yes. Yes, thank you, Boo. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, truthfulness. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, no, no, no. Thank you, Boo. Yeah, that's. I'll just repeat for those online that basically, yeah, Lavanya Krishna Boo, that is a comment that basically the four legs of Dharma they're represented in each of the yugas. So in Satya Yuga, all four legs were there, and then um, in Treta Yuga, there was only 3 legs. Then in Dwapara Yuga, there was 2 legs. Then now in Kali Yuga, there's 1 leg. So, and that last leg is truthfulness, and that's shaky at best in this current age. Yeah. Yes, thank you. Okay. Yes, Anantaraspu. Yeah. 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 So, no, thank you, Boo. Yeah. So, basically, I mentioned, and during the class, we have our gross material body. So when I mentioned the material body, that means the gross material body and the subtle material body. So the material body has two aspects. One is the gross and the subtle, and the gross material body is that which exists of the 5 elements: earth, fire, air, water, and ether. And then the subtle body consists of the mind, intelligence, and false ego. So naturally, through the process of devotional service, um, uh, also our mind, intelligence, and false ego will become purified as well. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Yeah, thank you, Boo. And I said that the mind is out of even the mind is considered one of the senses as well, and it's the most hardest to control. Arjuna mentions that the mind is like trying to control the wind. So basically, yeah, through the process of devotional service, the mind will naturally revolt, but then over time, the mind we can develop attachment for devotional service, and so the mind can go from our worst enemy to our best friend in due course of time. Yeah, and we can become gradually purified. Yeah. Okay. 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 So thank you very much. Bhagavad Gita ki, Srila Prabhupada ki. All glories to assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
You singing? Are you singing?
I'm getting there. Oh, okay.
Thank you. Thank you. You singing?
Just wonderful.
Hare Krishna. Jaya Radha Gokula Nanda Radha Gokula Nanda Radhe Radha Gokula Nanda Radha Gokula Nanda Jaya Radha Gokula Nanda Radha Gokula Nanda Radhe Jaya Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman Jaya Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman Jaya Gauranitai 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 Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai 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 Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Shri Radha Gokula Nanda Ki Kripa Jaya Jaya Gaura Chande Arati Shobha Pajaya Jaya Gaura Chande Arati Janavita Tavane Jagamanaloba Janavita Tavane Jagamanaloba Dakini Tai Chan Vamegadadara Dakini te advaita shini vasa chatadara Nikate advaita shini vasa chatradara Hosi ache gaurachan Ratna Simhasane Hosi ache Hosi ache gaurachan Ratna Simhasane Hosi ache Arati kore na Brahma Adi Devagane Arati kore na Brahma Adi Devagane Narahari adi kori Chamaradulaya Narahari adi kori Chamaradulaya Sanjaya Mukunda Vasu Gosadigaya Sanjaya Mukunda Vasu Gosadigaya Sanjaya Mukunda Vasu Gosadigaya Santa baje ganta baje baje karatana Santa baje ganta baje baje karatana Madhura Vedanta Bhave madurame danga baje paramarasala Sankha baje ganda baje Madhu 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 baje Sankha baje ganda baje Madhu 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 baje Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Bahu Koti Chandra Jini Vadana Ujvala Bahu Koti Chandrakini Vadana Bahu Koti Chandrakini Vadana Ujvala Mala dese bana mala Kore chala mala Mala dese bana mala Kore chala